Right, well, got a problem. On one of the last videos I put on, I think it was the one where I was messing about with the 5711. There we go. Did say about the Countax wheel breaking off it. There was a half shaft broke. Welded it up, used it for a few weeks, but unfortunately, well, just over a week ago it was, it broke again. Half shaft did. It happened, it was quite some distance away, right around the front of the house, and it snapped off. That's where it's gone. Actually, when you look at it, I hadn't got much weld around that really. So what I did was just got some slings, used the rear unloader on the 5711 and just carried it round here and just dumped it into this building. But what I'm going to do is get it moved now, get it into the workshop so I can then really have a good look at it. I suppose really there's three options as I can see it. Either got a case of taking it off, getting a new half shaft, doing it that way, putting a new gearbox or a second-hand gearbox on, or trying to weld it back up again. Welding possible, I suppose. I don't really want to go down the route of second-hand because obviously this one was second-hand. It wasn't. It was new for it was the original one for the tractor, but you could buy a second-hand one and it could break, you know, a couple of weeks after putting it on. So I'd prefer to go down the route of new or try and just repair it properly. So yeah, what I'm going to do, swing it back round. Yeah, take the sweeper off while it's in here. Take the deck off if I can get it out. I don't think I can get it out there with them blocks there. And then I'll get the 5711 and try and see if we can lift it and get it into the workshop. Right. quality. What I'm going to do now, move the camera into the workshop and then you can see me dropping it then. Hopefully, should be able to put this in here on like that. Just going to sit there. The next job is take the axle off, the gearbox, obviously a transaxle, and go from there. But that won't be tonight because we're going to do some grass cutting now. So what I'm going to do now is go and put this old lady back in the garage. Actually, I'm going to come for a ride if you want to. Well, tripod can stay in there. Rear end loader, quite a useful piece of kit. There it works. Obviously shallow. Inner circuit controls obviously the whole thing lifting up and down. Outer circuit control lever does that part of it. And then if you've got the bucket on, pull that for tipping it. reset it, just lock it down, it re-latches, and there you go. Right, so back to the Countax with the broken half shaft. We'll just zoom into it down there. Zoom button, there it is. So yeah, broke off. So I welded it up a few weeks ago, and then it's sort of broke again. But when looking at it closely, I hadn't got much weld there at all, really. I thought I'd grooved it a fair bit, but I obviously hadn't. And by the time I'd flattened it all out, obviously it wasn't much weld. So have a look what this looks like down here. It's pretty dark down here, isn't it? Right, let's have a look. Yeah, I hadn't got a lot of weld there. So what I think I might do is jack it up a lot higher. Zoom back out again. So yeah, one thing I might do is try and jack it up, get it a lot higher, sort of really heavily groove that shaft, then try and get plenty of weld in it and just see how it goes, because it's probably going to be, well, it's certainly going to be easier than taking the axle off, or get the gearbox off, say, or transaxle. And it's still the problem then of either getting a new shaft, which that's where I'd rather go, is new. I don't really want to go for a used one. Got a funny little line on the camera there, I don't know if that's seeing it. But yeah, can't see anything on the lens. But yeah, right, back to what I was doing. Right, what I'm going to do, get this jacked up a bit higher and then have a look. Right, seems quite dark. It's actually not as dark as it looks on the camera, but cleaned it up. I think I'm going to try giving it a go at welding again. A little bit concerned if I start taking the gearbox apart, I'm going to find, you know, it's 23-year-old, I'm going to find lots of wear in it and probably end up then, so I don't scrap that gearbox, transaxle, whatever you want to put on it. So what I think I'm going to do is really grind this shaft down, get it nice and clean, tack it, then I'm going to put a really big V into it and then fill that up. I'm just going to straighten this guard out while I've got the wheel off, because that's got quite bent. Right, let's see what I can find to do that. Right. What you do have to be a little bit careful with, I always think when you're welding, is all this stuff that's dropped off could spark going and set fire. So always a good idea, keep your work area clean when you're doing welding and sparks and what have you. Especially if you haven't got someone with you who's like acting on sort of fire watch. So yeah, drop that in the bin. I'm going to go and take this over to the bench grinder, clean it all up, and then bring the angle grinder over to this, clean this one up, and then bring the welder over. Right, here we go. Right. Just in case anyone's wondering, when I was saying about the shaft, welding it, saying sort of grooved it or V'd it, what you want to do, if you're butt welding two bits of metal together, like that. Oops, a bit closer. That's it. So you butted two bits of weld together like that. If you just weld on top here like that. You then need to grind it back down to get it nice and smooth for the shaft, and you end up with no weld there. So what you want to do is, where's your joint? You put a good V into the shaft, or the metal I should say. Like that. You weld into the middle there, as you get some penetration around here as well. Put them into there. You then grind this down, so you end up then with all this area with some sharp V and weld, so hopefully it does make it a lot stronger. Then yeah, the only time you really don't need to put a V in is if you're sort of like an overlap. So if you've got like two pieces of flat metal and you're overlapping the other one over the top of it, and then you just weld it in here, and then you don't need to. But yeah, if you're butt welding up to it, yeah, you need to do that. That's right.
Okay, so what I've done, move the camera quite a way back, so you want a fair bit of a zoom at the minute. So I've moved it back so we don't get any splatter on it. I've let me get my thing here. Oh no, that ain't going to work, is it? What I've, oh no, it shows how far away I am. So what I've done is I've grooved that shaft quite a bit now. Then clamped a piece of angle iron onto the bit coming out the end of the gearbox. Lined the other bit up so that's now sitting dead straight. And what I'm going to do now is tack that some weld. Make sure, take the angle iron off, make sure it is straight, and then I'm going to groove it a lot more, so it'll take it out evenly then, hopefully, and then really weld it up. So yeah, what I'll do, if I zoom back to it here somewhere, and yeah, get the welder, go from there. Right. Disconnecting the battery, always very important before you're doing any welding on a vehicle. You must always disconnect the battery. Even though this hasn't got an alternator as such, it can still damage your ignition, charging circuits and everything. So what I'm going to do, the welder's set, I've got high so it's quite thick. I'm going to just, first of all, just tack this shaft. Tack it in, and take the clamps off, make sure it's where I want it, and then groove it a little bit more then. Moment of truth, has that tacked it enough? Yes. I'm just going to get a straight edge now, make sure I'm straight. I'm going to tack underneath, then I'm going to groove it quite heavily then, so I'm getting plenty of weld into it, so I'm not going to grind all the weld off and weaken it again. I'm just going to find a proper straight edge. What I'm going to do now is tack it along the opposite side and then groove quite a nice channel into it then. groove, quite a big groove into it now. What I'm going to do is just stand between you and the grinder so I don't spark me camera in, should cover me camera in sparks. Right, so that is now quite a deep groove there. I'm now going to fill that back up with weld. We'll just make sure first of all it's still sitting straight. Yep. I'm now going to fill that, really weld that up. What's the name? Camp on first. I'm just going to show you the back for a bit so you can get a better angle. Will I still be able to see? Oh yeah. So I'm going to do the same thing now, put a very deep groove in on the other side. What I'm going to do is switch the camera off a bit, weld this all up, and then I'll flick it back on then when I'm ready to start sort of grinding the welds down. Okay, so welded it, I've grounded it, finished off just with a flat file. So I didn't sort of gouge into it too much. I think there's still a little high spot there. Just knock it off before I try putting the wheel on. I need a new pair of gloves. High spot just. Fit. So at the minute, no keyway or anything. Just see if it will fit on. Feels lovely. Surprised me. So what I'm going to do now, just blow some paint over it. Still want to give it a bit more. Groove it a bit more. But I'm going in about nearly a third of the way into the shaft on groove. I've grooved it and welded it up. So what I'm just going to do, get some paint, blow over that. There's nothing special. Just some satin black. shaft, so that's paint's going to dry almost instantly. Basically you've got a, yeah, that's right. Spacer goes, well, washer goes on first, I think. Yeah, I think. Okay, the spacer goes on. That side hasn't got a washer. Well, I think the washer goes on first. Looks like it went on first. Spacer. Just put a little bit of copper grease on there. I don't actually know where the keyway's gone now. I'll stop the wheel on. Grease everywhere, isn't it? If I can find where I'll put the E-clip and the keyway. So yeah, got a little keyway, fits in for the transfer and the drive. Probably won't fit in. Persuader. Then the washer, and then the E-clip goes on there, which is always fun to get back on. Right, well, got one of them silver tracks when I do that. All depends how that shaft holds up now. Right, so yeah. So I need to get new cable on that. Cable insulation's starting to get a bit worn on there. Right, so that's that. We'll see how it goes. And then yeah, report back. Thank you for watching. Right, what I should have done while I had the wheel off was just try and adjust the brakes up a little bit. basically all they are, there's not a lot to them. You've got, oh, that's aching. Right, so let the light come up, let it focus. Is it going to focus for you? So, this is the brake disc, a couple of little tiny brake pads. This is the adjustment. How it works is as you push down on the pedal, and see as I start moving, and this bracket has got like a, looking at it from the back if you like, it's got like a shape like that in it. It's two rods. That broke me now. And as that bracket moves, it causes the rods to push in and clamp onto the brake disc. So yeah, it was quite loose. The brakes were quite bad, so I'll just nip that up a little bit. That's what I'll do. I'll put the wheel back on, see what it's like, and then yeah, adjust it again if need be. Okay, so recording. Yep, got it back together. Got the wheels back on, and let's see now what them brakes are like. Hang this, don't need this 10mm spanner, so I can go back up there. Keep the 13 one with me just in case I need to adjust them brakes anymore. Choke. Sharp a sec. Right, just in case anyone's wondering why two lights are on the dashboard. One is the charge light, which has always been on, that one. The only time it isn't on is when you engage the cutting deck and it goes flashy. This one is to say the handbrake's on, which it isn't, but I've bypassed the thing so I can actually get off and keep it running, whatever, yeah. But yeah. Right, that's it. I'm going to go give this a proper test now.